Hello again. I'm hoping this will be my last introductory video to the class, but I felt it imperative that we go through the syllabus together. So if you'll open up your syllabus or bring out your printed copy, I'm just going to go from top to bottom, not reading every word, but kind of paraphrasing and summarizing what I've already put in the syllabus. I expect you to read the syllabus a couple of times, please, all the way through, because it's a lot of information all packed into one little space. And it's kind of the contract between you and I. It's what I want you to do, it's what I expect from you, it's exactly how I want you to present yourself in our online environment, so it's important. Please read it. Make time today to read it. At the top of the syllabus, you'll see the name of our course, the name of our Facebook group, and then a couple of different ways to contact me. If you anticipate wanting to video chat with me throughout this semester about your progress in the course, then you should download Skype and then add me. There's my username. My email address is there for you to use as well as my Facebook account. You do not have to friend me on Facebook, but if you'd like to, that's perfectly fine with me. Our materials, our textbook this semester is going to be a text called Feminist Frontiers. It's the 8th edition. You can find it at EKU bookstores or on the internet, like at Amazon.com. I'll upload additional readings and websites and videos and interesting information onto Facebook, directly onto the wall, where you can feel free to respond to those posts that I make there. But most of the stuff that we're going to read, everything listed on the syllabus is from our textbook, so we'll be making really good use of that textbook until the end of this semester. Also, you'll need, of course, your Facebook account, access to the internet, your EKU email address, the textbook, and then if you anticipate wanting to turn in your assignments as YouTube videos rather than essays, which is an option in this class because it's not a writing-intensive course at EKU, then you should consider starting yourself a YouTube account, so that you can talk directly into the camera, or downloading some video software so that you can put things together. There are all kinds of options for giving me your weekly information, your weekly posts, if you will. The most common, of course, is essays, but you can also do YouTube videos, you can do very, very interesting PowerPoint or Prezi presentations, or you can just do the traditional essay, and all of those are fine with me. I'm going to skip through the course description and the course objectives because I'll have you read those in your own time. As far as the general course overview goes, I'm just going to talk you through it rather than reading it to you. I've already laid out the 3 levels of communication on Facebook, and each week what we're basically going to do is from Sunday until Thursday, I'll have the docs section open for that week's general class discussion. So from Sunday to Thursday, you're going to chat it up with each other and with me. We're going to throw questions back and forth at one another. We're going to engage these texts and show how they're related and talk about what they're exposing about the way we believe and the way that we think about gender and women and men. And then we're, after that Sunday through Thursday banter is kind of dwindled down, then on Friday or Saturday, you can choose which day you post your final events notification. So this events posting is like an essay. It's like the traditional kind of Blackboard discussion board essay that you might write. It's an academic essay that references sources, but the sources can all come from inside your textbook, or you can choose to access sources from the free internet or the library. And I'll talk a little bit more about those here in just a second. But each week we're going to be reading just basic textbook readings, which I've listed on the syllabus. And then I'll supplement those textbook readings with online postings that I'll post onto the main wall of our Facebook. And then we'll discuss them, then you'll post about them. That's every single week. There's not going to be much variation on the tempo of the course, because Facebook itself is so dynamic that we'll all sort of struggle just to keep up with each other's comments and stay on top of all of that. So the structure of the course is going to be very simple as a result of that. This course, of course, is dependent heavily on text. If you're a person who's not terribly comfortable reading, I suggest that you invest some time this semester getting more comfortable reading and communicating through text. That means checking your grammar, that means checking your spelling. I know that we're on Facebook, but we're also still in class, so we have to maintain that level of professionalism. So be thinking about not only what you're saying, but how you're saying it. Just kind of scanning down through the syllabus to see what I want to talk to you about. I've already talked about what's expected of you each week in the Facebook discussion, the docs chatter. I've already explained to you what I expect from you about the end of the week's events. Now I want to tell you a little bit more about the end of the week events and how those build on top of one another to form your final project. So your final project doesn't just come out of nowhere. You're actually working every single week in those events postings to build something, to build a reservoir of information from which you can build that final project. So each week you'll post, let me see, I can't remember how many words I said, or if I did say 500 words. You'll post a 500-word end of the week event response, and you have two options for what you can do. First option, you can go into the textbook and choose one of the readings from that section. Each week we're going over a specific section, so you can choose one reading from that section that we did not cover in class, and then you can provide a brief 1 or 2 sentence summary of that text, and then just talk more about how that text fits in with the other things that we've read, the stuff we've been watching on Facebook, the stuff I've been showing you on Facebook, our discussion board chatter, our doc chatter, all of that stuff. You can link that extra text that we didn't read back into what we actually did read and discuss. So that's one option. And the other option is for you to go out onto your own and onto the free internet and research for yourself the way that women, gender, and masculinity and femininity are being treated in different countries or different sections of the world. So, for example, you can definitely, Appalachia is one section of the world. You could talk about different parts of the country. In your 500-word post, you could talk about how women in Iowa assume femininity or perform masculinity even. You can talk about how men in Brazil are expected to perform their masculinity and what cultural beliefs help construct that and help keep that going. You can talk about medical treatment for women in Zimbabwe. You can talk about the way that transgendered people perform their gender in Indonesia. You can find little pockets of the world, and then you can explore more deeply one gender or multi-gendered, or the way that gender itself is being treated. So those are your two options. The first option, again, you go into the textbook, you find one reading that we didn't go over that week, read it thoroughly a couple of times, and make some notes about it, and then explain to us why that reading maybe should have been included, or why, how you see it fitting in with the other things we've already been discussing, how it contributes to the ongoing conversation that we've already been having that week. Just show some real critical engagement with what you're reading, that you've read it a couple of times and that you can make sense of it on your own. And then the second option is for you to strike out on your own on the internet and find a gendered topic somewhere on this whole huge planet that you might want to delve into a little bit more deeply, and then post a 500-word summary of your findings, just striking out on the internet on your own and answering your own questions. So each week you'll be giving us one of those options, a 500-word summary basically of what you've found doing your own independent research, either in the textbook or on the free internet. And that will build up at the end until a final project. So one idea of a final project might be the picture of femininity in the world. And then you can take us through in your 5 to 7 page essay what you discovered about how gender is treated around the world. So if you struck out on your own and you went and found all these different gender-related issues in different pockets of the world, then your final project can just be an amalgamation of those and a re-presentation of those in a cogent and cohesive fashion. If you decided to stay inside the textbook, then you might just offer us a glimpse into what it meant to examine those things outside of the classroom setting. What did you find out all on your own that you didn't already know, and how did that knowledge help you write your discussion board post or your docs post, and how did that help you participate, and what has that done to change your thinking about gender? So it just depends on how you want to take that final project and how you want to conduct yourself weekly. I've given you these options to kind of break up the monotony. You might find yourself one week doing one and one week doing the other, but I would urge you to settle really quickly on one way only, because that's going to inform that final project. So we can be in contact on Skype or on email about how you want to run that, and I look forward to seeing what your ideas are for that. So without further ado, let me check my time real quick. Okay, I'm good for time. Last thing I'll go over is the actual syllabus part down at the very bottom of the document. So I think it's page 5 of the document. I've designed the syllabus into 4 different columns and a row for each week of our course. And so you'll see the 4 columns. The leftmost column is the date, the day of the week date. The second column is the topic or the part of the textbook that we're going to be reading for that week. The third column is the actual readings and their page numbers that correspond to them in the textbook. And then the fourth column tells you what you're responsible for each week. Usually it's just the Monday or the Sunday through Thursday back and forth doc chatter that we're going to establish together, talking about the text and working out our questions about women and gender together. And then the event posting at the end of the week on a Friday or Saturday, that 500-word post that you have several options for. So that's the four columns that you see. Each week has its own row. It's pretty self-explanatory after that, and these are just the readings from the textbook. I've told you already that I will supplement these with links that I post to the wall sometimes each week. Sometimes I won't post much, and sometimes there'll be a little bit more to post to supplement our readings so that we can think outside the box a little bit more. The last week, if you'll scroll all the way down to the bottom, I haven't assigned a reading because I want you to really dig back through Facebook. I want you to really look at the very end of our course together. I want you to dig back through the wall and go back through everything that we've learned together and look back through each one of the events, look back through each one of the docs that we've created together, and really explore what it is that we've tried to struggle with this semester, and then put together a final project that is the natural result from that springs forth from that as the things that you've learned and what you've accomplished in this course, and also where you hope to go next and where you think feminism and women and gender studies is going next. So I'm kind of giving you a place to chart your own path. If you would like a little bit more direction on where to go, we can talk about that, and I can give you more direction. So that's the whole syllabus. What I'm hoping in the end is that the syllabus and this lecture and the lectures that I've posted before will all sort of come together, and it'll help you understand exactly how I envision this course playing itself out. If you have any questions, you're free to comment on, and there's a doc already created called General Discussion. You can post your syllabus or course-related questions there, and everyone can see them and help answer them and respond to them. Or you can post a response to this discussion board or this video upload as well. So it's going to be a great semester. I've got some really interesting readings laid out for us. The syllabus is going to be really fun, and our Facebook interaction, I hope, can be really intellectually rigorous, but also really fun and dynamic as well. So I look forward to working with you this semester, and I'll see you soon.